Crikey, good eye, whatever. Okay, sorry, my voice is a little. I just got off the phone with Nick's and they didn't want to work with me on a thing and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I called them yesterday. Apparently 1 month means 2 months. So maybe next week I'll have an update on that. But that's not really the hats, of course. That's the suspenders, but throwing it out there that after 2 phone calls, I'm feeling a little annoyed with their website and other things. They listed all these leathers and da-da-da, so I'm going to have to save that for the boot talk next week, I guess, you know, because, again, this is hat talk. But this is kind of an obligatory throwaway episode, just telling you that right up front. I wore the shirt to match the band because I talked about the thing in the last video. In the reset one, not the official hat talk one. What episode was that? 364. I talked about a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't just boots after I did the boot part. But if you go back to the previous hat talk video, I might have talked about it in there too. Or maybe it was the midsummer reset, the 355 episode. I don't remember. Hat talk, boot talk, 352. So somewhere in there, I talked about the Gandalf hat and the other hat and the this and the that and all that. So I'm not going to recap everything. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best one to use for my personal reference with my when I have to put in the keywords and all that in the search later so people can actually find this junk. Sorry, I realized I'm talking for a minute without really saying anything. But so what else has changed? Not much. I've still been wearing the Magellan one to try and use it up because, again, when there's wind, I like having this extra behind the head doohickey that the Gandalf hat does not have, but the Gandalf hat has a slightly wider brim and a little bit floppier brim where it's kind of doing this on the sides more than it's, doing cowboy upturn sides or whatever, or a proper drover look. Like this one's not quite a drover because the brim is a little narrower, but this more shape than, again, riding cowboy. So yeah, this one, but almost the same idea as this, but more mesh and more beat up. All that. This one, again, more of a safari look right now than some of the other ones. If we're going to be nitpicky. But again, I had tried to wear the modified, the Clint. It's not quite movie replica, but the shape is recognizable enough that my sister knew the lexicon right away. I flattened the brim out a little bit, but again, not quite drover shaped, but a little less curved than it came with. And I stovepiped the top a little bit rather than keeping the pinch front. But I couldn't get the shape to. I ended up with kind of this brick in the middle instead of a round pork pie, and had to kind of call it good for now. But my head is not touching up there. It's a little too small, so it doesn't flop down on me like some of the other hats. So trying to wear this one a little bit, but also no ventilation on the crown. Same as how the sweat bucket has no ventilation on the crown. And a giant knot that I tried to find a way to simplify that. I'll retie it again someday or put a different band on it. Yada, yada, yada. I did finally put the Riverina in the back in the box for the rest of the season and put the chin strap on here. This is, of course, the Akubra territory that I got in the now discontinued Sandtone fawn color. The current color is called the Eucalypt. I did put a little bit of that flimsy foam. Where'd it go? I had another line around here. So I don't have to take it all apart. Well, I don't know where it went. Should be right here. But it moved, or I moved it. Anyway, I did put a tiny bit of this little foam back here to cinch up the back a little bit, and all it's really done is make the leather flop out on the sides. Because I don't, oh no, I did put a foam in the front as well. So it's really made the leather all kind of, I don't know, janky. I don't like, it's not smooth like the Bailey, but it fits okay. They're supposed to shrink a little bit and conform, but I wouldn't want to try and wear it without the chin strap. Of course, devotees will know that I already had the sand color. And it doesn't sit quite right on my head either. It doesn't move around that much when I'm walking and wearing it, but it never goes to the sweet spot where I really want it. This one seems like, even though it's a little too big and a little too shallow, it sits a little better, even though it's kind of wobbly. So I'm really trying to wear this one a little bit more now in the morning than I was wearing this one pretty regularly to try and get it to fit. But this one I never added any foam stuff, and the leather has more or less stayed smooth around. It's kind of bowed out a little bit where the doohickeys from these inserts are, but when you're wearing it, you don't feel it. At least I haven't noticed that being an issue or the issue. It's just not quite right. It's just never sat right where I want it. And it's not as shallow, so my head isn't bumping in the same way on the peak of the crown or whatever. But yeah, I'll live and learn. We'll see how it goes. So I got two of these, and I'm trying to rotate them a little bit. Oh, hello, goodbye, whoever that was. I have the chat on, so if you're fast, you might be able to ask a question, but I'm not going to stay on here all day. Oh, no, it went blurry. What happened? There we go. So the big reveal, folks. Take it or leave it, but you better believe it. Now, I was worried that he was going to do some kind of glue around the whole thing when I asked him just to stitch it in a couple of spots. He did stitch it in 4 spots like I asked, but for some reason, he took out my stitching in the front where I had it centered. Oh, okay, bye, whoever you were. Where I had it centered, and he moved the teeth to make one in the middle where I had it where there was 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. So now there's 4 on one side and 2 on the other side. So he managed to make it slightly cockeyed, I guess, because he thought that it would look wrong with his seam in the direct middle, which would have just gone where my sewing already was, because I had it tacked down intentionally to put it where I wanted it. But, you know, he didn't do that. He didn't glue it like he said he would, or if he did, he didn't glue it too bad. I haven't noticed. So I'm a little worried that this cheap China operation stuff is going to unravel, because I wanted him to do like a stitch kind of along here to hold some of this better. I'll have to go to a different shoe guy who maybe put a little more attention to it. Good day. But so anyway, so that's what it came out to look like, and it got beat up a bit, I think, when he put it through his machine, because the brim is now kind of tweaked a little more than it was. I'll have to get the wire to go back to how I had it. He was all happy when he gave it to me, and I didn't bother to scrutinize the thing in front of him. But I'm trying to bring it home and being like, man, what the frick did you do to my hat? You know, because it wasn't a new hat at all. See all here where I had steamed it and a little bit and tried to flatten it in some spots, but I hadn't like tweaked the crap out of it. So he really did a number on it to get the seam here. He jacked this all up. So I don't know if this will ever be the same, but Mick Dundee doesn't exactly wear a, you know, fine couture wardrobe anyway. It's meant to be, you know, kind of a messy bush look. So we'll see. And this, of course, he does not have a wire brim on his either. He has a raw edge like the Akubras. So I debated if I should chop off the wire entirely and see if the wool felt would last with a raw edge or if it all unravels or something. Not sure, because a lot of them with the raw edge will come with a finishing that it doesn't need, but these pretty much all come hemmed with a wire for some reason when you get by the less expensive wool felt hats instead of the fur felt hats or whatever. So that's about the size of it. So I was, you know, I could have wore the black vest, the suede one, because I got a black belt instead of a brown belt today, but not exactly Dundee trousers either. Okay, so people keep popping in and popping back out, but nobody seems to have any questions, and nobody probably gives a crap about my Crocodile Dundee hat. Again, with no ventilation, again with plastic teeth instead of the other ones. Again with the cheapest leather crap imaginable instead of the one that I wanted that I couldn't get from Kakadu. Again with my hat beat to crap by a sewing machine apparently, and a guy who was just going to get her done no matter what it took apparently. So yeah, that's what $20 got me. At least it's finished without breaking another needle or stabbing my finger again. So yeah, as always, okay, the three of you who might tune in later who care, you know, you can always do the Buy Me a Coffee app thing. And if you're smart, you'll boycott Tinder. They just lost one class action lawsuit, but I haven't heard about a new one yet. That one was from some old grievances. So hopefully the new grievances will really do a death blow wallop that should have happened a long time ago already. And so yeah, boot talk next week. So when I went in, the tailor said your stuff isn't ready, but she didn't know that I ordered it up to the guy and didn't even expect to see her there. So I should have another jacket video soon. I should have another selvage denim update soon, although I'm not getting the pair that I wanted at all. So whatever. And I should have, that's 2 videos anyway. That's enough for next week. Okay.